Today, we've got the third roster update of NBA 2K26. Starting off with the featured players, Scotty Barnes goes up 1. Scotty and Toronto have been on a roll recently, so this is well deserved. Cooper Flagg also goes up 1 for the Mavs. He's had 3 20-plus point games in a row, and he seems to really be hitting his stride. Still only 18 years old, by the way. Josh Hart, yeah, his overall dropped quite a bit, but it's back up to an 81 overall, a +3 for Hart as the Knicks have started to roll, and he's been doing his thing. Now we'll get into the individual teams and player ratings. Starting off in the West with the Dallas Mavericks, Cooper Flagg and PJ Washington both go up 1. We talked about Cooper already, but Washington doing well on the wing for the Mavericks. Daniel Gafford down 1 to a 78. Yeah, he doesn't have Luka to throw him lobs anymore. Their whole point guard situation is completely messed up. Speaking of, D'Lo went down 1 to a 77. Clay, he started off real bad, but has started to play better. He goes +1 to a 77. Najee Marshall up 1 to a 77. Same thing for Max Christie. And how about Brandon Williams going up 4? And another guard for the Mavs who's been playing really well lately, Andrew Nembhard's brother, Ryan, he goes up 8. Last update, we saw Danish Jenkins go up 9, I think. But a +8, don't think that's normal. We've been seeing some huge movers as of late in these roster updates. Now we'll go over to the Eastern Conference for the Atlanta Hawks. You've got Trae Young, standing pat in 88. He's been injured. Jalen Johnson goes up 2 to an 87. He should be an all-star this year. He's been playing at that level. Dyson Daniels goes up 1. Started off slow, but has hit his stride a little bit more. I thought Naw might get a little more love than just a +1. He's up to an 81. Reese Shea, the former #1 overall pick, hasn't done too well in year 2. He's down 1 to a 78. Vit goes up 1 to a 76. Mo Gay's been pretty solid. He's up 1 to a 75. Asa Newell, the rookie for the Atlanta Hawks, up 1 to a 74. And Keaton Wallace goes +2 there. He is now a 72 overall. We'll go back west for the Denver Nuggets. Jamal Murray, oh my goodness, I was watching him last night. Had a 50-piece on the Pacers. He was just on a roll, and he really looks like he's returned to form. He had it was an ACL or Achilles. I always get those two confused, but he had a big time injury, came back, Nuggets won a championship, but I still don't think he was the Jamal Murray of old like we saw in the bubble. But now he's back to it. He looks like the Jamal Murray of old, maybe better than we've ever seen him. AG goes up 1 to an 84. Cam Johnson up 1 to an 80. He started off terrible. You would think it's only up from here for him off the way he started. Valanciunas has proven to be an incredibly valuable backup big for the Nuggets. He's up 1 to a 79. P. Watt +2 to a 78. Bruce Brown down 1 to a 75. Kind of unexpected to see him not improving alongside Jokic. I thought being back in that system, his overall flying up. Julian Strawther -1 to a 73. And Spencer Jones +4 for the Denver Nuggets. Not too familiar with Spencer, to be honest. Now we'll head over to the Eastern Conference once again to the Boston Celtics. Yeah, Jaylen Brown's been playing well, and there's a conversation to be had about this Celtics team. Once Jason Tatum gets back, do we think they could go on a run? He's up to a 92 overall. Now, the C's are going to need more out of D. White, who's just been gradually dropping throughout the year, down 1 to an 83 now, but Peyton Pritchard has been trying to step up and fill that gap with White's struggles. He's up 2 to an 83. Anthony Simons goes up 1 to a 79. Neemias Queta up 2 to a 78. Yeah, the Celtics have a big man problem, so they've been relying on guys like Queta and Luka Garza, who went up 3. Sam Hauser down 1 to a 75. Jordan Walsh has been playing bigger minutes for the C's. He's up 2 to a 75. Baylor Shearman, the young fella, up 2 to a 73. Same thing for another young guy, and Hugo Gonzalez. Going back west to my Warriors, who have not been playing too well lately, Draymond goes down 1 to a 79. This is the first time in a long time we've seen Draymond below an 80 overall. Maybe ever? Well, not ever. Like when he was a rookie and stuff, he was definitely below an 80, but it's been a long time. Kuminga goes down 2 to a 79. Got off to such a good start, but now the writing's on the wall. He's going to be out of here as soon as the Warriors can trade him, or maybe he won't. Maybe he'll somehow stick around. This is my team, by the way, if I didn't mention that. Moses Moody -1 to a 78. B-Pods. Bro, B-Pods, I need him off my team too. -1 to a 77. The Mitten GP2 up 1 to a 76. Same thing for Q-Post and my guy Will Richard. Buddy Hield, we still need his shots to start start finding the bottom of the net, down 1 to a 75. How about Pat Spencer, man? Used to be a lacrosse player, but he's quite the hooper too. +4 to a 73 overall. All right, back east, the trash Brooklyn Nets. Haven't been tuned in to too many Brooklyn games, but Michael Porter Jr. has been doing his thing. That's for sure. He's up 2 to an 86. Nick Claxton goes down 1 to an 81. Dang, bro, their fourth best player is a 76 overall. It's bad over there. T-Man -1 to a 76. Yegor Demon, the rookie PG, goes up 3 to a 76 overall. Zaire Williams down 1 to a 75. Noah Clowney up 1, now a 75 himself. Tyrese Martin up 2 to a 75. Danny Wolf, W name, if you know, you know, +3 to a 74. Danny Wolf's been having himself some games. I saw the posterizer dunk. Y'all tagged me in that. I appreciate it. Drake Powell up 1 to a 74. Jalen Wilson down 1 to a 73. And that's it. Houston Rockets, I think KD might get a bump. No, KD's been playing really well. Jabari Smith Jr. goes up 1 to an 80. Reed Shepherd gets some love. He's continued to be really good. He's up to an 80. Steven Adams, I mean, the best offensive rebounder in the league, +1 to a 78. Josh Okogie -1 to a 76. Aaron Holiday's been solid too, man, giving them some good guard minutes, +2 to a 75. Once Fred VanVleet gets back or they make a playmaking guard addition, I want them to get Harden. I think the Rockets will be in business, and they're already in business. They could be really good. They are really good as is, but if they make a few more moves, oh, it could really get spooky. The Charlotte Hornets see LaMelo Ball go down 2 to an 86. Yeah, bro, I mean, his efficiency's terrible this season. Definitely a justified downgrade. I'm not trying to hate on LaMelo, but it just is what it is. Con Knipple goes up 1 to an 83. Definitely an argument between him and Cooper, who's the best rookie in the draft class. Miles Bridges goes up 1 to an 82. Colin Sexton up 1 to an 80. Ryan Calculator, he's been an underrated addition for the Hornets as a rookie. He's already a 79 overall, goes +1. Mason Plumlee up 1 to a 76. Shout out to him, keeping a job in the league. Sion James -1 to a 75. Trey Mann down to 74 nowadays, goes -1. The vet Pat Connaughton up 1 to a 73. Oh man, the Clippers, this team's a disaster. Let's see how their ratings are looking. They finally gave Harden the nod. Thank you, man. +1 to a 90 overall. Well deserved for Fear the Beard, man. James deserves that upgrade. Big Zoo, he goes down 1 to an 86. I saw they might be looking at trade offers for him if they can get like 2 first-round picks. That's the starting asking price. John Collins goes down 1 to a 77. +1 for Chris Dunn to a 77. Brook Lopez goes down 1 to a 76. Chris Paul's a 74, bro. They sent that man home. Said, yeah, we're not trading you for now. You're not getting released, but just go chill at home. That's insane, bro. And his farewell tour, too. Jordan Miller goes +2 to a 73. Kobe Sanders up 1 to a 71. Cam Christie +2 to a 70 overall. Now we'll go back east to the Chicago Bulls. Things have not been looking good in Chicago, but they are getting some rating boost. Vucci Main up 1 to an 84. Trey Jones and Ayo Dosunmu go up 1 apiece to 79. Jalen Smith, I've liked watching him. He's been a good backup big for the Chicago Bulls. He goes +2 to a 77. Okoro +2 to a 76. The Paw, probably on one of the worst contracts in the league, -1 to a 75. The Lakers, I'm wondering if they drop Bron here. I'm not going to lie to y'all. Ever since coming back, Bron hasn't looked great. It's only been a handful of games. Bron goes -2. He's played, what, 4 or 5 games? Hasn't looked great in them. He's had to kind of stat pad to get to those 10 points a couple times. And he's down 2 to a 92 overall. There's a conversation about Austin Reeves potentially passing him by the end of the year. I mean, Reeves, this is crazy to say, and I love Bron, but Reeves has been better than Bron this year. Granted, small sample size for both players. I mean, Reeves, it's been about 20-some games, but for Bron, it's only been a couple games, so we'll give him the benefit of the doubt there. Maybe that overall goes back up. But Reeves, +1 to an 89, knocking on the door 90 overall club. I think he deserves it, to be honest with you. The way he's been playing this season, he's been absolutely incredible. As has DeAndre Ayton. He's been impressive. +1 to an 83, playing his role well. Rui -1 to a 79. Yeah, he hasn't been as aggressive as you might want looking for his shot. I really like Rui's mid-range game, man. He's a strong player, too. Jackson Hayes up 1 to a 76. Jake LaRavia had that hot start, but cooled off, down 1 to a 76. And Bronny up 1. I thought that was in the last roster update. He went up 1 to a 69 overall, but maybe I'm bugging. I thought they updated him last time. Whatever. We're not really worried too much about a brawny 69 overall. Moving on to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Donovan Mitchell has been hot lately, up 1 to a 94 overall, but some of the other guys have been struggling. You see it. Evan Mobley -1 to an 88. Hasn't taken the leap the Cavs might have wanted. Garland, there's been a lot of injury stuff, down 2 to an 85. Jarrett Allen, down 1 to an 84. But DeAndre Hunter's looked really good. His mid-range game has been butter. He's up 1 to an 81. Jalen Tyson's been a good presence on the wing, +3 to a 79. Alonzo, down 1 to a 76, unfortunately. Craig Porter goes up 1 to a 74. Naquan Tomlin, yeah, he's been really good. He goes up 3 to a 74. Larry Nance -1, down to a 73. And Tyrese Proctor, young guard for the Cavs, goes up 2 to a 72. Now, going back to the Western Conference, we got the Memphis Grizzlies. Wow. Ja Morant down to an 86 overall. Was this not in the last roster update? Some of these feel like they were here last time, mixed in with the new one, but maybe I'm mistaken. Anyway, Zach Edey, well-deserved +2. He's been playing really well. Super huge big man. Was dominant in college and starting to get it together here in the league. Up 1 for Santi Aldama, now a 79. Jalen Wells and Jock Landale go up an overall apiece to a 77. Vince Williams Jr. up 2 to a 76. KCP down 1 to a 75. That Desmond Bane trade, man. I mean, they got a lot of picks out of it, but they've been a lot worse since. Cam Spencer up 1. John Conchar down 1 to a 74. Max Prosper up 1 to a 73. Going over to the Detroit Pistons, you've got Cade up 1 and Duren up 1. I mean, the Pistons have been rolling. Not much else needs to be said. Cade now a 93. Duren up to an 88. JD could knock on that door a 90 overall. I guess he kind of already is. Tobias Harris up 1 to a 79. Karis LeVert up 1 to a 79 as well. Yeah, like this Danish Jenkins +9 was definitely there before. It is what it is. We ball. Duncan Robinson goes up 2 more. He is a 78. Beef Stew up 1 to a 78. Ron Holland down 1 to a 75. B-Ball Paul has been a good backup presence off the bench, up 3 to a 75. Vontae Green up 1 to a 73. Our next team is going to be in the Western Conference, the Minnesota Wolves. They dropped Julius Randle 1. Interesting. Randle did have a really hot start and slow down a little bit. Rudy Gobert goes up 1. Shout out to Bald Rudy, up to an 84 overall. DiVincenzo, I think if he could be the type of guy he was on the Knicks or Warriors, oh my goodness. I mean, the Wolves got themselves a huge game changer. He's up 1 to a 79. Mike Conley's just old, and the Wolves got to figure out their point guard spot as Conley goes down 1 to a 76, and that's about it for Minnesota. Indiana Pacers, we got Siakam going down 1 to an 88. I think that was there last time. I don't remember Jay Huff going +3. That's big for them because they lost out on Miles Turner over the offseason. We're seeing how that's going for the Bucks. The Bucks are a disaster, but we'll get to that in a second. Isaiah Jackson up 2 to a 76. Jarris Walker goes up 1, which is good to see from the former lottery pick, now a 76. And another big man who the Pacers got in there, Tony Bradley up 1. Okay, back west, we got the Pels. Zion stays at an 87. Trey Murphy III continues to play well, goes +3. Derek Queen, well-deserved, +6 to an 80. But I think he had already got that boost, no? I think he had. Sadiq Bey goes up 2 to a 79, as does Zero Fears Jeremiah. I remember they dropped him last update, but he's going up again. Jose Alvarado up 2 to a 77. Eve Misi down 1 to a 76. Kevon Looney should have just stayed in the Bay, bro. We could use you. Down 1 to a 73. Bryce McGowan's up 3 to a 73. Micah Peavy up 2 to a 73. And Monte Morris down 1 to a 72. I didn't even know Monte Morris was on the Pels, to be honest. Back east, Miami Heat. Bam Adebayo down 1 to an 88 overall. But how about Tyler Hero and Norman Powell, the Heat's guards? Another Clippers fumble was letting go of Norman Powell, that's for sure. But Tyler Hero goes up 1 overall to an 87. Norman Powell up 1 to an 86. The young big man Khalil Ware continues to improve, +2 to an 81. Jaime Jaquez, he had just recently got a boost, but goes down a little bit this time to an 80 overall, just down 1 there. Davion Mitchell +1 to a 78. He had dropped before, and now he's going back up, I believe. +2 from Pell Larson Iverson to a 77. Jovic and Fontecchio go up an overall piece to a 76. Drew Smith up 1 to a 74. And Keyshawn Johnson +1 to a 70. Thunder have been rolling, so they'll probably get some upgrades. A lot of guys standing pat. J-Dub just got back. Hartenstein goes up 1 to an 83. He had dropped, I think, in a previous update. Gets that overall back. They got 3 guys going up to 80. Wallace, Joe, AJ Mitchell. That's just a testament to the depth of the 20-1 Oklahoma City Thunder. Jalen Williams, the other Jalen Williams, J-Will, if you will, up 1 to a 76 overall. Now out east, we'll get to the disaster Milwaukee Bucks. They've had some bright spots. Ryan Rollins +2 to an 81. Kuzma +2 to an 80. Bobby Portis goes down 1 to a 79. But here's the problem, man. It seems like Giannis wants out. He had an injury in his most recent game, and now he's out 2 to 4 weeks. He might have played his last game in Milwaukee. Kevin Porter Jr. goes +2 to a 78. AJ Green +1 to a 77. Gary Trent Jr., who was really good for the Bucks last year, struggling this year, down 1 to a 75. Jamari Bouye +3 to a 70. No upgrade for Thanasis. Thought this would be the time we got it. Phoenix Suns. Devin Booker goes up 1 to a 93. Yeah, he's been hooping lately. Dylan Brooks up 1. Dylan Brooks has been playing really well. Up 1 to an 82. Mark Williams +2 to an 82. And Grayson Allen +4 to an 82. Yeah, Grayson's been playing well. I mean, the Suns are getting a lot out of the guys they have. Colin Gillespie's another name. He goes +2 to a 79. Ryan Dunn and Nick Richards go down an overall apiece. Jordan Goodwin, who I really liked with the Lakers, goes +2 to a 75. Oso Ighodaro up 1 to a 74. Now we'll go back east. New York Knicks. We've got a +1 for Mikal Bridges. Yeah, he's been rolling. Recently had a season high game. We talked about Josh Hart, Clarkson, McBride, him and Deuce, the backup guards for the Knicks, go up 1 apiece. Landry Shamit's been really good for New York too. He goes +4. Yabusele hasn't looked too good. -1 to a 74. Tyler Kolek up 2 to a 73. Portland Blazers. Yeah, Avdia goes up again. He's knocking on the door of 90 overall. +1 to an 88. Shaden Sharp, he's back and he's starting to get in his groove. +2 to an 83. Jeremy Grant getting that trade value up 1 to an 82. Donovan Clingan might just be the center the Blazers need. +2 to an 82. This guy kind of looks like Keegan. This guy Chris right here. It's almost like they're twins. +1 to a 74. City goes +2 to a 72. Caleb Love +4 to a 72. Orlando Magic. Paulo Moncaro has been removed from the 90 overall club. Franz goes up 1. Or Paulo's an 89, by the way. Franz goes up 1 to an 87. He had dropped a little bit earlier in the season. D-Bane had also dropped, but he's climbing back up 1 to an 84. Jalen Suggs up 1 to an 83. Wendell and Anthony Black go up an overall apiece to 80s. Tristan DeSilva -1 to a 77. Jet Howard hits a +4 to a 76. Noah Penda +2 to a 74. Tyus Jones, he's been bad. -1 to a 73. San Antonio Spurs. You've got Devin Vassell going +1 to an 82. Dylan Harper, one of my favorite rookies. He's back and healthy and hooping. +1 to an 80. Keldon Johnson +1 to a 79. He's been such a good role player for the Spurs. HB -1 to a 78. Started off real hot, slowed down a little bit. Kelly Olynyk up 1 to a 77. Jeremy Sohan down 1 to a 76. And Sham Penny, who's also a really fun role player, comes off the bench, knocks down shots, +2 to a 75. David Jones Garcia +2 to a 70. All right, let's go over to the Eastern Conference again. Philadelphia Sixers. Maxey should be going up. Yep, Mad Max +2. Now a 92 overall for Maxey. George is back. PG, no movement in his overall. Down 1 for Edgecombe. He had that hot start and has slowed down since, but still an 80 overall for a rookie is not bad. Drummond's had a bit of a resurgence. +1 to a 79. J-Mac up 1 to a 77. He started off terrible. Let's picked it up a little bit. Trendon Watford +1 to a 77. There's my guy Kyle Lowry. Justin Edwards goes down 1 to a 75. Bona up 1 to a 74. And Dominic Barlow +3 to a 74. Sacramento, another team that's been a disaster this year. Levine and DeRozan go down an overall apiece. They're both 83s. Keegan Murray +1 to an 81 overall. Malik Monk down 1 to a 79. Dennis Schroeder down 2 to a 77. Russ has established himself as the best point guard in Sacramento after the Kings gave Dennis Schroeder quite a bit of money. Drew Eubanks +2 to a 76. Keon Ellis, the Kings just refuse to play him big minutes, down 1 to a 75. Maxime Reynaud, who's been a bright spot in a disaster season, goes up 4 to a 74 for Sacramento. Got a couple teams left. We'll go out east for the Toronto Toronto Raptors. We talked about Scotty. The notorious BI3 goes up 1 to an 86. Emmanuel quickly picking it up 2 to an 81. Jakob Poeltl up 1 to an 80. Mamu, he's been hooping, +2 to a 77. CMB, Colin Murray Boyles, down 1, the rookie, to a 76. Jamal Shead goes up 1 to a 75. Jacoby Walter up 1 to a 74. We'll finish out with the Utah Jazz, where Lauri Markkanen goes down 1 to an 87. Had that hot start, slowed up a little bit. Just get bro out of Utah. Keontae George up 1 to an 83. He's been playing well. Ace Bailey starting to pick it up, +3 to a 78 after that big drop at the start of the year. Isaiah Collier -2 to a 77. Svi Mikhailuk's been a smooth role player, +2 to a 75. Shout out to Uncle Kevin, +1 to a 74. Taylor Hendricks down 1 to a 74. Final team, the Wizards. Alex Sarr's been their best player. He's up 1 to an 84. C-Mac up 1 to an 81. We'll see where he ends up later this year. I'm assuming he's not going to finish this year with the Wizards. Down 1 for Keyshawn George. He's an 80. Bilal Coulibaly goes down 1 to a 78. Corey Kispert, solid role player, +2 to a 78. Love to see Chris Middleton going up. He's a 77, as is Cam Whitmore. They both hit +1s. And that will wrap up the latest roster update. Feel like we saw a lot of movement there. Some of the stuff didn't look like it had been updated. Like the Danish Jenkins update, he had already had his boost. So I don't know what's going on there. Nonetheless, we went through everything. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Like, subscribe. We love basketball. Have a great day. I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.